Hey, do you like to move it, move it? Because I like to move it, move it.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Nikhil, and we're going to talk about the movement of the early republic.
The movement of the early republic spanned from the 1750s to the 1800s, encapsulating a great period of change and continuity in American history. Political development and injustice with slavery and Native American displacement would further continue expansion. All types of people moving west faced hardships and prosperity, whether they are American-born immigrants or servants and slaves. This migration would be provided and supported by the Northwest Ordinance in 1787.
Hold on, what's the Northwest Ordinance?
The Northwest Ordinance was a document largely based on Thomas Jefferson's Ordinance of 1784, which chartered a government for the Northwest Territory, a Bill of Rights, and a method to admit new states into the territory.
During the movement, Native Americans were in a very bad position, either being forced to move farther west or live on reservations due to not being able to win conflicts against settlers. This eventually led to many laws being passed, with one of them being the Indian Intercourse Act in 1970.
The Indian Intercourse Act? What's that?
The Indian Intercourse Act was a way to give the government legal control over all things having to do with Native Americans. This meant from trading to even crossing their land, the government could regulate the Native Americans' movements.
Wow, that's neat. Did you also know that the natives didn't just peacefully move, but some of them actually had resisted, leading to things like the Battle of Fallen Timbers, which actually left the natives in a worse state than they had begun?
Even though the Native Americans were losing lots of people, some found sanctuary west of the Mississippi and at the southern frontier, which were very friendly towards natives since they were working to drive out new settlers.
There were several reasons for the population change present in the United States, specifically the light flow of Europeans moving in response to politics and economic struggles in Europe, enslaved Africans continuously being exported into the country, and the population boom with the high birth rates being tied to the surplus in food and the family desire to have children for farms. The movement west would be aided by this population growth, with leaders like Daniel Boone establishing the early white settlements in the Northwest. Slavery was already facing disapproval and distaste by the late 18th century through religions such as the Quakers, the Mennonites, and the Christians, and Enlightenment ideas about liberty and equality. Even slave owners like James Madison opposed slavery, hoping slavery would be replaced by the increase in immigrants.
Despite the disapproval, cotton slavery would begin growing in 1793 after Eli Whitney had invented the cotton gin. The cotton gin quickly separates cotton fibers from the seeds, turning the slow, costly process into a massive, profitable source of income in the South. The value brought from the cotton gin would increase the demand for enslaved African Americans. Advancements in the textile industry would further increase the value of cotton, as a young British apprentice, Samuel Slater, would smuggle his knowledge and build an even more efficient textile industry overseas.
Some enslaved Africans were able to escape to northern states, despite the Fugitive Slave Act requiring states to return fugitives. The growing demand for workers would introduce an interregional slave trade, which intended on assigning cotton planters to newly settled in southern and western lands. This would be distinctly cruel, however, as it would lead to families being broken apart during trading, and children and parents were never destined to see each other again.
Well, that was for sure not the most cheery topic.
Yep, I guess you could say they were in the thick of it.
I'm in the thick of it, everybody knows. They know me where it snows, I skied in and they froze. I don't know nothing but no ice.
Alright guys, thank you for watching. You're gonna want to hit that like button, subscribe button, and follow down below for more.
I went from living room straight up to sold out doors. Life's fire, but once I'm ready for the war. Whoa. This is how the story